What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, of course. We're here with PKA. We're just past level 100 now. Finally, we've reached level 100, and we have a team for you guys in this video today. And I want to bring more different teams for you guys as we progress into this. So I've got one team today, and tomorrow we'll try and work on a different team for you guys, so we can kind of, you know, just have a little bit of variety in terms of what we're actually using to take on PKA level 100 and above. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Hopefully we get some Zoro, because we want to bump out that level a little bit. Again, haven't really found much Zoro since the last video, but we'll see what happens here. I think I did see Zoro show up here on the map. Let's have a look. He is there, which is good, and both of the mini bosses are here as well. That's actually fantastic for us. Even though a lot of the favorites boxes are sitting here at the back, you know, we want to probably land on those to get even more sake bottles. I don't have that many at the moment, do I? I've only got 7, so not the highest amount, but hey, it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and take on both of these mini bosses, get as many of these turtles as we possibly can. We're just going to go ahead and pick up the Nami statue to increase our buddy level. And we'll go ahead and land on Blackbeard. So once again, for those of you who don't know, I usually keep these guys at lower levels. We beat them at lower levels with high multiplier teams. Just makes it a bit easier for turtle drops and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and beat Blackbeard and Mihawk, and then we'll return back once all of that is done. Alright, so Mihawk has been defeated. We've gone ahead and beaten him with just, you know, just a random team, an amalgamation of random boosted characters that gives us the most amount of turtle drops possible. Of course, I didn't pull on the Sugo Fest. I don't plan on doing so. But, you know, if you have those units, those rare recruits, those Sugo Fest exclusives, if you have them as friend captains, you can use them here as well. Although, I do like to save the friend captains for potentially using them for team builds against the actual final boss. In terms of drops here, I'm going to pick up those 5 Elder Turtles. Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and progress here. I don't really care about the Rumble matches that much, so I'm just going to go ahead and take on Sanji. Yeah, pick up the statue. That's fine. And then we'll go ahead and run into Zoro. And we're going to go ahead and increase the boss level by 4. So that's pretty dope. It's pretty nice to land on that. Do we get some more sake bottles? We get at least 1. That's pretty dope. And then we move on to the final boss against Arlong. So what level we are? 109. 109 we're going to be challenging in this video, and the team that we are going to be using is this team right here. So this is a big shout out to a Japanese player on Twitter named Shiren. He was the original creator of this team, and I wanted to check it out, see how it worked. I did test the team already once just to make sure that it did work as effectively as I thought, and yeah, it actually works pretty good. So I wanted to show it off for you guys just to give you a bit of a rundown in terms of what you kind of need for this team. For this team, there are a couple of key things. Obviously, the units themselves are important, but also the supports. The supports of Momonosuke on Yamato and Hachi on Nami and Sanji, those are the 2 key supports. You do see the other ones. Roger and S-Hawk are there for stats, and then we also have the support of Ace on Luffy, which just increases the color affinity that Luffy gives. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. It gives you a bit of additional damage, but it's not really required for the team to function. So, of course, the friend captain of Nami is also important for this team to actually work as well. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into things. Another thing is the ship that we're using. I am using the upgraded host ship, which is a level 12 with modifications, so we get additional cooldown reduction. So it just means that we have to stall a little less, which is kind of nice. We don't really have to do that much stall. We want to make sure that we move into stage 3 when Nami and Sanji are about to become active. That's the only real thing that we need to take note of. Alternatively, if you are really that pedantic about it, you could be switching with Shirahoshi and Mancherry every single turn, but it's really not required at all. We don't really need to abuse the Rush Sugo special of Gear 5 Luffy either, so it's not like having low levels of Rush Sugo special is really going to make that much of a difference. It's just there for additional stats, I suppose, because with level ups of Rush Sugo special, you get level limit break, increasing the max level of Luffy. So at this point here, Nami and Sanji will be ready when we move into the next stage, so we legit can just run through this and not have to worry about it anymore. Now, the key support that is attached to Nami and Sanji is going to be activating here, which is the Hachi. The Hachi is a really good support. Ever since that character came out, it's been a very powerful support to have. So of course we have Hachi, Chu, Karubi here. Now we get 6 turns of special bind. There is paralysis, but the friend captain of Nami removes paralysis by 10 turns, and we do have these block slots. Now here we can go ahead and use the Nami Sanji special. That's going to give an orb boost to our free spirit characters, but it also will activate the Hachi support, which will change adjacent slots and their own slot into recovery, and also it removes 5 turns of special bind when you use the Nami Sanji special. So because there's only 1 turn of special bind left, when we move into the next stage, the special bind gets removed, and we get an orb boost. We have some matching slots, and another thing we need to make sure we activate is the EX Super of Gear 5 Luffy to ensure that he transforms into Gear 5 so that we can bypass enemy defensive effects with normal attacks. Very important that you do that. If you don't do that, you will lose. So from this point here, we can just go ahead and kill. Easy as you like. Alright, we move on to the next stage, stage 4. This is going to be the most tricky stage, I feel, for most people out there, where you've got Nezumi and Mr. Genzo. And this is the stage where what they want you to do is to kill Nezumi, the rat guy, the marine guy on the right. You want to kill him only, and not kill Genzo. Because if you leave Genzo alive, he's going to remove this negative attack down that that Nezumi had applied to your team. He does that, which is important, so you want to make sure you remove that when you move into that next stage. There are other ways around it, though. I've seen some people abusing, like, Legend Smoker, which says that when you launch his special, your crew is immune to be inflicted with burn and attack down for, like, 5 turns or 3 turns or something. So you preemptively can use that, head into stage 4, and then the attack down from Nezumi doesn't get activated. So that's another idea, but it does waste a whole crew slot just on, like, Legend Smoker. Don't know if that's a really valid option, but it is an option, you know? Alright, so in terms of what we do here, we're going to go ahead and activate the special of Nami. So Nami, of course, going to give us a full board of tandem slots, going to give Chain Boundary, the good stuff that we actually want. Pretty cool special animation as well. I do like the theming and the special animation of all of these Straw Hat characters for the 10th anniversary, but yeah, it's just a shame that a lot of these legends are just kind of mediocre and don't really perform as well as we kind of had hoped that they were going to perform. But we're going to use the Nami. We're going to go ahead and use her super type as well, which is going to reduce the special cooldown of her by 10 turns, which is important because we will be activating Nami again on the final stage. It gives us the chain boundary buff as well, which is pretty dope, extending it for multiple turns. And that doesn't really matter, though, because of the way that the preemptive attacks work of the enemies here, but anyways, the enemy does have Rainbow Shield, the enemy does have a combo hit barrier, but it doesn't matter because we have Gear 5's Captain ability to just bypass it anyway. So from this point here, we are just going to go ahead and kill. That's pretty much it. We just want to kill Nezumi. That's the goal. So let's go ahead and get it done. Nice, so Nezumi got taken down, and remember that once you reach level 100, the scaling of HP doesn't actually happen on stage 3 or stage 4, so if you can kill at level 100 on stage 4, you're going to be able to kill at level 150 on stage 4, so that's a good thing to note. Boss stage now, we have Arlong here. So, of course, Arlong, he changes into a quick enemy, so Dex units are what you want to bring here, ideally. And what else does he do? He gives us paralysis, which Nami deals with. We are burnt, which is why we have Shirahoshi and Mancherry to remove that burn. There's the other effect where he takes less damage from certain types of slots, and then there is the damage immunity, the 1 turn of damage immunity. But luckily, Gear 5 is such a beast. When we activate his special ability, that is going to go ahead and not only give us color affinity, it gives us an orb boost, but it also has the beneficial effect of removing 1 turn of all enemies' beneficial effects. Such a powerful ability, very underrated ability. When a character has it, it's always extremely good. So being able to remove 1 turn of all enemy beneficial effects is so strong. Now, of course, by doing this, it does mean that we get a full board of Psy slots, which is not what you want. You want to be abusing like Wano, Tandem, Rainbow, Semla slots, Recovery slots, because of the debuff or the buff that Arlong has. So we're going to go ahead and use the special ability of Yamato. Yamato will give us a really strong attack buff, but another important reason is because of the support attached to Yamato, which is the Momonosuke. And that's really strong because it's going to inflict end of turn damage, which means it gets around the resilience buff that Arlong has. This is actually a really cool special animation of Yamato. It's been a while since I've actually seen this one. So the Momo support activates, giving us end of turn damage. Very, very strong to have that. Let's go ahead and use the Mihawk special ability. The main reason why Mihawk is here is because, I mean, not only he's a boosted unit, but Mihawk also gives cooldown reduction to the crew, which means we can activate Nami special again to get the chain boundary activated, which is really strong. So that's going to be really, really good. And now that I'm just thinking about it as well, we do have the ace support on Luffy, which gives us damage, which gives us the color affinity buff. But now that I'm seeing that we have this effect from Yamato, potentially you could just put a damage reduction support. So on a character where it says when you launch their special, you get damage reduction, because that would mean that this effect gives you additional attack. So that is also something you can take note of. Finally, we're going to activate Shirahoshi and Manshiro, which is going to remove the burn debuff on our side of the field. Kind of important that we remove that, because it's not normal burn, it's the super burn buff, which means that, you know, when you hit a perfect, you lose the HP immediately, not at the end of the turn. And that's actually really important, because if you lose all your HP, normally with burn, you can just wait till the end of the turn, and if you kill the stage, it doesn't matter. But if it's the super burn buff, like what that one was, then that's obviously going to be a bit of an issue. But at this point here, we have all the buffs that we would require, so all we need to do is kill the enemy. So let's go ahead and get this job done. Alright, let's do it. Boom, plenty of damage, and you can get even more damage if you have a damage reduction support on your crew as well, and that goes ahead and gets it done against Arlong. And of course, with the friend Captain Nami, we do have the Mihawk as well, both of these characters giving additional drops at the end of the quest. Mihawk is a chance, but Nami of course does give some additional turtle drops. Do we get any good drops though? Oh, we do actually get a princess turtle, which is pretty dope. You don't see that too often. And we get collect one rainbow Hime turtle, which, as I said, you know, that just doesn't happen. So that's cool. At least we got our first rainbow Hime turtle drop from a run. We take those. But that is going to wrap it up from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.